and welcome to another episode of Velocity Kinetics. I'm going to do an immediate trigger warning about language because what's happened has really wound me up quite a lot. I know I don't normally do a trigger warning for my videos about language, but because this is different, I want to talk about cars potentially being shit magnets. And what to do. Unfortunately, my Swace has recently become a bit of a shit magnet, which is nothing to take away or mark against. It's nothing against the Suzuki Swace at all. Still a really good car, but it's going in the Swace playlist because it does kind of affect it. So in the recent times with my Swace, some idiot ahead of me has on the M25 pulled an emergency stop because they missed their exit, and I nearly rear-ended them. I have dragged it through, or been forced to go through ridiculously deep water that the car is lucky to still be running. I have recently had someone try and mount the curb to get past me to leave a car park and banged my wing mirror. Thankfully, no damage, and the guy was just about to drive off. But unfortunately, before people in any comments go, well, why didn't you go to the police? Unfortunately, with the dash cam footage, Sarah shouted at the man, rightly, to like, oi, what are you doing? He's like, the man, he's either so wealthy that he doesn't care, or he was off his tits on something and didn't care. But the problem is with his sort of, no, it's fine, don't worry, I'm sorry. Wound me up so much that in the video I've actually threatened to lay him out, which is not like me. But it's a lot of things like that. Like within 2 weeks I owned the car, I did the bumper. Now that was arguably my own. Well, it's not arguably. It was my own fault, but it feels like it started the car off on this whole. I had the damage to the bumper. Then that had to be replaced. Someone stole the rear towing eye cover. I had to buy a new one. I mean, technically I didn't have to, but it just looked weird. Someone's popped it off. I suspect my old landlord did. I then had numerous issues with the bumper continuing to lift. I have had to replace the windscreen because that cracked, and then nearly couldn't get it replaced because Autoglass suddenly freaked out because they didn't have the right windscreen, because apparently the one that turned up was labelled Toyota, and they couldn't get the guy to realise it was the same car. It took a lot of convincing to actually get him to do the bloody thing. What else have I had to have done? There was what we'll call the dunking, so where it went through all that water. There has been the wing mirror. There has been high brake light that stopped briefly working after it was dipped. There was the M25 incident. There was the underneath oil pan that nearly come off, part of the dunking. New number plate, all part of the same dunking, but still something that had to be done. Nearly got it front-ended this morning when I went to Stowmarket because a van just decided to pull out, and then he tried to make it so there was enough space for me to get in, but there really wasn't. I've then had someone rest their car against the front bumper. How hard they hit, I don't know, because it didn't trigger any dash cam footage, or whether they're just lucky enough to stop where they were. You see what I mean? All these things that have happened to me with this car, it's what I would term a shit magnet. So it seems to attract a lot of things to it. And when I bought that car, and I had always decided that I was going to keep it at least to its MOT and probably beyond. Then when I went and looked at a Peugeot 508 and a Land Rover Discovery Sport as part of an outing, my viewpoint started to change. Maybe I might not keep it that long, should money go my way. Then seeing the new Swaces and hearing that they've got more power, it's making me think again. And I saw a really good deal on an Audi A4 Avant and an A4 Saloon. They've gone to the extent, but two very good deals. Making me think again in a couple of deals on 3 Series and 5 Series that I've seen used. So it's got me in one hell of a quandary, because the next time something happens, actually there was something else, another incident, someone pulled out in front of me in Newcastle. I only just avoided being sideswiped in it. You see, the list of things that it's been involved in, or nearly involved in, is getting longer and longer, and the car is only just past 2 years old. Which I suppose at that current age, it works out there's been some sort of incident with it once every 3 months so far in its age. I think it's actually once every 2.7 months or something daft like that. Let's round it up. Once every 3 months something seems to have happened. It could be that that's the end of its shit magnetism, and I'm not going to have any more problems. And I would love for there to be no more problems aside from something unforeseen at a service or an MOT. As in, I don't want anything to go wrong at that point. It's just, in my head, that's the next time something could happen. Or should happen, should we say. Some of it is to do with people being impatient around Christmas at the moment. Which, everyone wants to get home. Some of it's been people being just flat out fucking stupid. And stupid is as stupid does, Mrs. Blue, in the words of Forrest Gump. But if you see where I'm coming from, I'm so frustrated with it. I'm cross and I'm not cross. I'm upset but not upset over the situation. I'm conflicted and yet not conflicted. It's like, do we get rid of Patrick Swacey and either get another Patrick Swacey, or do we get rid of Patrick Swacey, go to a completely different brand, and hopefully end the shit magnetism? But then again, my first Swift didn't have any problems. Granted, I owned it for about 18 months, but no problems. First Baleno, again, similar story, about 18-ish months of ownership, no problems. Second Baleno, the only thing that went wrong beyond anything that came up on its service, its air conditioning condenser, was when I hit a hair and cracked the front bumper. But actually in 4 years of ownership, just over 4 years, that was the only thing that went wrong with it outside the ongoing saga with the air conditioning pump. This car has had a lot of things happen, but then again, did I just get lucky with my other cars? Am I due this constant, or currently feeling like constant shit magnetism with it? Is it just a case of shit happens and I just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, which karmically probably is what's going on? So I'd be interested to hear what other stories of general shit magnetism and cars people have had. I'm not, like I said, I don't want to replace the car. It seems it's a very extreme answer, and not one, even with my recent pay increase, it's not the right thing for me to be prioritising. I've got credit cards and things that need paying off instead of that, and I've got family things coming up in the next year which I need to prepare to budget for. So it's not the right thing for me to do unless I happen to come into a nice little lottery winnings or something like that. But it's also one of the things, like, a bit of me in the back of my mind cannot stop thinking that maybe it's the world saying, it goes both ways. Karmically, is it the world saying, no, even Patrick Swacey might be the end of you? Or is it the world saying, you've had a little bit too much good luck with your cars so far, Patrick Swacey is going to teach you a few lessons? Or some people might say, stop putting so much stock in karma, which, again, maybe that's half the problem. But, yeah, don't know what to do, don't know where I am with it, but I just know that how I feel is sort of best summed up as it's not even a word or a sound, well, maybe a sort of sound, sort of it's probably how I feel about it at the moment. Sort of a frustrated probably is the best way to describe it, actually. I'm just frustrated with it, and my concern with my frustration is that I will make a rash financial decision. Thankfully, I've got Sarah to keep me straight and honest on that, but doesn't mean that I wouldn't make the decision when she's not around, or wouldn't make a decision that is rash when she's not around. Not immune from doing something stupid. But, yeah. Sort of furthers my little rant on my 27,000 mile Swace video. Sort of all the money I've sunk into that car. I've gotten lucky, I guess, but doesn't stop it hurting there, you know. But anyway, there we are. Anyway, drive safe, look after yourselves. Everybody wants to, hashtag everyone wants to get home. Like, comment, subscribe, donate to the PayPal link, and we'll see you next time.